Yooosin. We're back again with To Hunt a Killer, our Blair Witch series on its subscription-based board game. This is Box 2. If you want to check out our video on Box 1, click the link right here. Otherwise, we're going to jump right in.
All right, let's get right to it, boys.
All right, so like in the last one, we have some emails that we have to go over. Thanks for signing up for the Super Neutral newsletter. This month, we're obsessing over the terrifying story of the Bell Witch. Not the Blair Witch. The Bell Witch, apparently.
Different witch, huh?
Apparently. Legend has it, in 1817, the Bell family of Robertson County, Tennessee, found themselves the targets of Phantasm. The Mask of Phantasm from Batman. It all started when the patriarch of the family, John Bell, fired his gun at what he thought was a ghostly dog. Why did I think he was playing zombies? Other members of the family claimed to have seen various specters, such as enormous birds and even a young girl swinging from the limbs of an old oak tree. The haunting of the Bell family quickly escalated, with the mysterious shape-shifting force scratching at the children, pulling hair, and causing John's mouth to become paralyzed. Perhaps this was a punishment for attempting to shoot the ghost. Eventually, the unseen specter started to audibly answer questions. Upon being asked, "Who are you and what do you want?" the ghost replied, "I am a spirit. I was once very happy but have been disturbed." It claimed its intent was to kill John Bell, which it eventually accomplished. In 1820, at 70 years old, Bell died. At his funeral, the Bell Witch, as she came to be known, interrupted the ceremony by gleefully singing drinking songs.
What?
Sick. She hit the Mr. Brightside. The story of the Bell Witch has spread far and wide since, commanding the attention of believers and skeptics alike. For more on the Bell Witch, including her relationship to none other than a United States president himself, listen to the Super Neutral podcast on the topic here. First things first, we have two different links.
Trump? Family with Trump? That's what it is, man.
You know what?
That's
You're
what
right.
it is, dude.
It's Trump. All right, so we got two links that we got to look at. There's this is highlighted, the terrifying story of the Bell Witch. So I'm gonna click on this one first.
Okay. So we have the Blair
It's
Witch and the
a
Bell
super
Witch.
neutral pod. I don't know if there's two, so we're just gonna go with this one first.
Okay.
I have a theory, of course you do, is the quote. And there's like a little story here, and it's the same thing as pretty much what we just read in the email, the haunting about the Bell
John
family.
Bell, blah, blah. Yeah.
Let's get into the podcast.
All right, send it.
Welcome to Super Neutral, the pint-sized paranormal podcast that pits a believer, that's me, Ed Barrett.
Against a skeptic, that's me, James Durant.
On this minisode, we're going to talk about the legend of the Bell Witch.
Not to be confused with the Blair Witch.
Exactly. Maybe I just have Blair Witch on the brain, but I'd always heard people compare these two legends, and I just had to find out why.
Well, why don't you go ahead and tell the people about the Bell Witch?
Now, the Bell Witch is a name given to an entity that haunted the Bell family in the early 1800s. What I wrote in the newsletter was mostly about the father, John Bell, but now I want to focus on his daughter, Betsy.
Okay.
You see, Betsy has an equally fascinating connection to the Bell Witch. There are some who say that the witch only targeted John after he attempted to shoot it with a gun. But the paranormal activity was mostly focused on Betsy.
All right. And why would that be?
Glad you asked. I have a theory.
Of course you do.
What do you think you know about poltergeist, James?
What do I think I know? Why? Are you about to prove me wrong?
I am.
Great. Well, poltergeists can throw stuff. They can interact with the physical world. Am I wrong?
Nope, that is all correct. But what you didn't mention, and what I didn't know until recently, was that poltergeists are said to draw their power from children.
Come on.
It makes sense, James. Children have so much more energy than adults, and who would be a better source of poltergeist powering youth energy than an anxious, angry teen?
So what? Betsy was fueling the Bell Witch?
Maybe she was powering the Bell Witch. And over in Maryland, just a couple decades prior, the children created the Blair Witch.
Interesting. Well, maybe both the Blair Witch and the Bell Witch are metaphors for adolescence. Maybe people invented the concept of a poltergeist and a vengeful witch as a reaction to the hormones that cause children to behave with intense emotion at the drop of a hat.
Or maybe people invented the concept of a poltergeist and a vengeful witch to explain the actual supernatural phenomena they experienced.
Excellent argument.
Did you know that President Andrew Jackson came face to face with the Bell Witch? The story goes that Jackson was traveling to visit the Bell family with a few companions when the witch halted his cart on the perimeter of the Bell's property. When Jackson finally managed to move his cart and get to the Bells, she appeared to him again later that night, taunting him and his companions, daring them to try to shoot her. One of them tried, and she beat the living hell out of him and threw him out of the house.
That is a great story. But I've already looked into it. The only evidence that Jackson ever visited the Bells in the first place, let alone met a witch when he was there, is a letter written in 1894 by a man named Thomas Yancey, who described all of this as an amusing story his grandfather told him.
You know fun, James. You know that?
Uh-huh.
Thank you all so much for joining us. We hope you learned something interesting and had a good time doing it.
We'll see you in the next minisode. But until that time comes, it's safe to turn out the lights.
Or is it?
I love how they actually have like full intros and outros and shit like that.
For a 3.5 minute
Exactly, it's awesome.
We learned something, didn't we?
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, I think you're
Ghost
right.
feeds on angsty kids.
And
And I even liked what he
is an
said about the
angsty-
analogy. He was like, maybe the witches are just the way that teenagers act. I was like,
feed
that's
off
kind of
the same
Yeah.
energy. Yeah, so I think you're right in assuming that Liam is feeding this thing. The thing I'm taking away is they're calling it the Bell Witch, and on the box it says Blair Witch.
He said, it said right there.
So-
Okay.
Different ways.
So no,
maybe
same or different,
maybe it is
or,
they're two different witches, and it all correlates together.
or maybe
Mhm.
yeah, they're just two different names for the same.
But so there was nothing. There was something else on here. It said listen to the Super Neutral podcast on the topic here. I'm guessing it's the same thing. Yeah, it's the same link. So
Yeah,
they just
32.
link it twice.
Yeah, okay.
So that's the podcast we were supposed to listen to.
Okay.
We learned a little something. I guess now.
Is it time to open the box,
Yeah, I guess we.
or is there more in here?
There's a newsletter one too.
Is there? Let me rip this too.
Oh, we got two. Bad.
Oh, there is. It's from the Burkittsville History Museum.
Little pictures.
At Burkittsville History Museum.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
We know that place.
All right. Hello, Burkitt's villains. Villains. Thanks for subscribing to the Burkittsville Yesteryear Photo Series presented by the Burkittsville History Museum. Click here to view the photo of the month, featuring one of Burkittsville's most historic and some say spookiest places. Anthony Rapinoe, Burkittsville History Museum. Give you guys a
Yeah, it's like a.
It is kind of creepy.
That's creepy as
it
hell.
looks like a cemetery.
1950s picture of a cemetery.
From the Burkittsville History Museum archives, Burkittsville Cemetery, circa 1950. This cemetery was established in early 17th century, making this burial ground the oldest site in Burkittsville history. And it's got their hours on the bottom.
In case you want to get
Yeah, in
buried,
case
you
you're trying to
know.
go there.
Let's see.
Nothing
Click
we can-
here. Is it just the same photo?
Where's the witch in the photo?
It is the same photo.
Oh, it's even creepier.
Oh, it's
You
the
can zoom
symbol. You
in.
can tell it their symbol. Yeah, there's some
I
symbol.
bet you we need those.
Oh, we're definitely gonna need.
Oh, I thought that was a person, and
Oh,
I
I
got
did too.
really
Dude,
creeped
the more
out.
you zoom in, the easier it is to freak out on some few little, you know.
You can't zoom out now.
It's frozen.
no.
No.
Okay.
Okay. So, are we noticing anything in this photo?
Obviously, I think it's just those three symbols.
I'm looking.
Or maybe
so
the
do you remember
cemetery
the
in general,
notebook?
but
The
those
trees,
first-
right?
Along the trees.
Yeah,
The
it's
big guy
what I've
along
been-
the trees. Is there
I-
anything with the shadows?
I mean, this could maybe be a person. I guess. Do we zoom in?
I don't know. I think you're trying hard as hell. That looks like a unicorn. He's got a horn.
What if we bring out the pen from box one?
There's no way.
I'm like-
There's no way.
I don't know.
Okay. All right.
So I
Yeah,
guess.
obviously those three symbols.
Yeah, we'll keep the symbols in mind. We'll keep this photo in mind.
Yep, cemetery means something.
Yeah. So I think it's
Definitely.
now we should get.
And I
this
like
here.
that we literally have a first-person view of what was just an overhead view of this place. Like that's so sweet.
Now we're
I
seeing
feel
it.
like I could stand in it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we should just remember this. It's creepy as fuck. I don't want to keep looking at it.
Yeah.
Let's
just hold it up. Go ahead.
let's
and
get
pop
it
it
open.
open.
All right, we're just gonna jump straight in. Let's see what we got
Open
going on.
this puppy up, man.
Okay.
It's a manila folder!
Yeah, it's the same thing. So we got these two guys again.
Oh, it's just same but different.
We got 8 items, it says. And this is our like a little itinerary.
Ooh. 8 items.
Get those out
Check
of there.
her. Yeah, let's get this
Get
all.
them out of there.
Yeah, put this in there and then here you go.
We got box 1 behind us if we need any of the
In
stuff.
case we need that special pen or the notebook
map.
or map. Yeah, more or less the map. Ooh. See, damn, they really stuck that boy up. Oh. I'm gonna let you pull everything out, but
We got a bunch of papers here too.
dude, it says South Woodland Academy on
Is
it.
that his little pen holder?
That may be.
That's pretty gnarly.
Burkittsville History Museum.
That's
Newly
amazing.
renovated, open for bid. Didn't his pops work on this? That's why it's newly
Oh.
renovated. Oh,
Some more journal notes.
We
Oh,
got
there.
some more, yeah. And look at these.
Yeah, those seem similar to the ones
To
in
the
the cemetery
symbol
stone.
that was
On
on.
the picture.
Yeah. But we're gonna have to decipher them and find out
We
what they
got
are
even
first.
more.
Oh my goodness.
That's all we got.
Yeah, it's literally some of the symbols are the same.
Some of the symbols are saying?
Yeah.
Well, there's only 3 there, so if you got some of them there.
You got
This,
that
we're
one.
good. Yeah,
this
yeah.
thing feels weird.
No, there's something in there. All right, no. So one thing at a time. Go ahead.
Yeah.
All right, so we got one of these guys, South Woodland
So
Academy.
it's like a pen pencil holder. Or something?
Yeah. and we
I
got-
like how they.
We got a little wood carving here,
Dude,
and it's got some symbols.
that's really fucking sketchy. That looks like the dude that's in the when you put the light
Yeah,
on the back
yeah,
of the
yeah.
campfire.
Yeah,
Remember in the picture?
it
This
does.
looks like the image that was behind it, and it's got the symbols on it.
I'm gonna assume we're gonna need a pen here
You see, you're gonna
to
need.
decipher. 'Cause we gotta
Yeah, we're
decipher.
definitely gonna have to decipher something.
And where are we getting these symbols from?
Because
Are
these
they
symbols
in-
don't even look like the other symbols.
Are they in his
at all.
notebook?
Wow.
These ones are older looking. That looks like these match on here, but these don't coordinate.
Yeah, no. These don't and none of them
These are very
coordinate
basic.
with the first game or with the first box. Okay. So
Where
you
do
want
we
me to
wanna-
dive into this? Or you want to grab into that? What do you want? Let me hit this. There's 3 things here. Holy mess.
Split it up. I'll go first. We got Burkittsville History Museum, little flyer for it. Newly renovated, open for business, and we got some hours. See the forest for the trees, and we got
Yeah.
a little creepy lady here.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's probably one of the witches.
Burkittsville, Maryland has a rich history. The Battle of Burkittsville saw a tactical win for Union soldiers during the Civil War, and several of the buildings on Main Street have stood where they stand for centuries. And of course, what Burkittsville is chiefly known for is our local folklore. Legend has it that an old witch resides in the Black Hills Forest, cursing those who set foot in our woods. Is she real? Many believers and skeptics alike have taken the pilgrimage to fair Burkittsville to ask this very question. While you'll find a wide range of answers among those who live and work in Burkittsville, history tells us that the earliest residents of this area certainly believed in her. Where Burkittsville now sits was once a town known as Blair, although the town's residents fled the area in the late 1700s. It wasn't until 1824 that Burkittsville was officially chartered, and the rest, as they say it, is history. If you're trying to find the truth behind all the stories, you need to visit the Burkittsville History Museum. We got some more pictures here.
The local flavor.
Yeah, local flavor. Do
The
you
local
fear the
flavor.
Blair Witch? Well, rather than go hiking through her woods, come enjoy our collected writings on some. That sounds like a bad idea.
They're taking the murder of people and using it for
Just
advertising.
put it all in one place, you know. Well, rather than go hiking through the woods, come enjoy our collected writings on some of her most infamous haunts. The Burkittsville History Museum boasts the largest collection of material relating to the life and historical Blair, as well as the art and craftsmanship of its residents. Take some pictures of the artifacts we discovered in the woods to remember your trip. The Burkittsville History Museum staff was friendly, knowledgeable, and gave me tons of stories to share with my friends. Great.
Great. That's literally what I said. Great.
We got some local events. Burkittsville History Museum is a proud sponsor of many local events. Our fair town is bursting with fun activities and public events, many free of charge. Whether you want to learn more about the rich history of Burkittsville or you have a story to share, there's an event for you. We got a bunch of events here. Battle of Burkittsville, Not So Civil War. Those guys are really creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was staring at
We're
those
going to show you
people
these
all the time.
guys, these little creepy dolls. Guided tours of Old Blair, open mic, this is really happening, presentation, the real story of the Blair Witch, historical reenactments, The Past Comes to Life, run by the Greater Frederick County Historical Preservation Society. And just a little bit about us with some more creepy dolls. I don't like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're flexing those little 2 dolls a lot.
I don't like them.
Like that's
I
an
don't like that
advertising
at
point.
all.
Like that makes me not want to come
Here, please.
Come here and see our dolls.
About us, the Burkittsville History Museum is one of the oldest and proudest institutions in our historical community, dedicated to collecting historical texts, land records, regional folklore, and more. A recent fire threatened this historical building, but we're now proud to have renovated the Burkittsville History Museum, ensuring the architecture remains faithful to even the earliest documented incarnations of the buildings.
Alright, so this was the very next thing I picked up. It looks like a letter from Rosemary to the detective, us. And, alright, here it goes. After going so long without any leads, finding Liam's things in the basement of the History Museum has filled me with so much hope and so much fear in equal measure. As wonderful as it is to have found something of his, I can barely bring myself to look at a second set of handwriting that's scrawled all over his papers. Who was talking to Liam down there, and what the hell did they say to him? It's nauseating to think about my son down in the cold and the dark being fed poison by some manipulative creep. When I was in that basement, something felt wrong about that place to me. I felt like I was being watched the entire time, and when I went to pick up Liam's things, I swear that I felt something on the back of my neck, almost like a hand brushing against me. There was nobody there when I turned around, of course, but it almost gave me a heart attack. Once I pulled myself together, I showed the sheriff everything you helped me find. But just like every other time I've tried to get him to do this damn job over the past few months, Lanning told me the evidence wasn't sufficient to justify putting more resources into Liam's case. Not only has the sheriff flat out refused to start organizing any more search parties to comb through the forest, he didn't even process anything from the basement as evidence. He left everything I found with me. He told me to be thankful to have a few new mementos, or that's how you say that, mementos of my son, some things that I could keep close. If he thinks I'm going to sit back and let this happen, he's got another thing coming. I'm sending everything I found down there and more. Try to pay special attention to the notes with those symbols on them. When I say that they're strange, I don't mean that because I can't make heads or tails of them. Whenever I try to look at them for too long, I feel a sharp pain in my temples or something. Happens to my visions, the symbols start to look as though they're moving, crawling around the page like insects. I don't know how to explain that. I guess I'm tired. I haven't been sleeping well. Hopefully you'll have more luck with them than I did. The notes aren't all what was down there, though. There's something in Liam's pencil case, something that I think you'll need to see for yourself. There was also something from Hudson in that basement. I have no idea how it found its way down there. No idea at all. But reading it was like a punch in the gut. I also asked Anthony if anything strange had been happening at the museum recently. He made me a promise that I wouldn't call him crazy, and then he gave me a few reports of odd incidents from the weeks before Liam went missing. He didn't show them to Lanning during the initial investigation because he knew that the sheriff is even less open to suggestions of the supernatural than I am. To be clear, I'm still extremely leery of the notion, but I can't ignore any possible explanation at this point. At the end of the day, among all of the strangeness, we know two things for sure. Someone was talking to my son in that basement, and we need to find out who it was. I need you to take the name of the person Liam was talking to and send it to the tip line at kentcase.com. I've updated the password to ensure all of this new information stays secure. The new password is quietly5. We've finally got a concrete lead. Let's make the most of it. Rosemary. And that's it.
So our goal is to find the person that Liam was talking to.
Yes.
Okay. Side
in
note,
the basement.
I remember from the last one that when the sheriff interviewed Anthony, he said the same thing about being in a museum, that he got a weird feeling.
Vibe.
Yeah, and felt like someone was like...
Doesn't Anthony run it or something?
He either runs or he's security there. But yeah, I remember him saying the same thing. So... You're right. We did go a little out order, I think, but it's okay. I don't know if that.
This was first.
Yeah, I don't know if that thing had anything concrete out of it. So the thing inside of the pencil casing was that, right?
Yes.
This
So-
That was
thing
it,
is
right? There's nothing.
creepy.
Okay.
And there's nothing else.
Yeah, but those symbols definitely, go with the shit.
Just look inside of this even more. All right, now we're
Go ahead.
No hidden,
Check for the
hidden
secret
trap
compartments.
doors.
Yeah.
So, what do we got next? We got Burkittsville History Museum feedback form. Looks like we got some conversations going on here. Got a little angry red guy too. You see that?
And some little special letters and
Yeah, some words and some letters are like. Looks like they put water on the ink, or like you said, oil or something,
Okay.
right?
something.
They got like a little splotch stain behind them.
They fucking dropped their Italian BNT.
Their
oil.
Subway sub.
Yeah, the oil fucking dropped out of that bitch.
So we'll go with the first part. My family drove out to your museum from 3 counties over after seeing the glowing write-up of the establishment in Untold Tales magazine. Thinking that we'd have a nice weekend outing and learn something along the way. While we were waylaid by some car trouble that stalled us by a few hours, excuse me, a tire blew out as we were driving down the road that goes along the edge of the forest.
Pretty sketch.
Yeah, sketch for sure. And it took me a long time to install the spare we kept in our trunk. We still arrived with ample time to take a quick look through the museum, or so we thought. Per the information listed directly outside of the building itself, we arrived 1 full hour before closing. Why then was the building already locked at that time? Why was I forced to explain to my 2 temperamental children that it was time to turn around and go all the way back home? To make matters worse, W, first one. As I knocked on the door to the building, I saw an employee standing not 10 feet away from us. He was facing away from me, hunched over a book or something, but he straightened up as soon as I knocked on the door. So he obviously heard me. However, he didn't even turn around. He just calmly walked away through some door without even acknowledging, the L in acknowledge, our presence. I've never witnessed such baffling rudeness in my entire life. I'm going to leave your establishment a scathing review on 5 square. Oh. Fuck.
Big F.
And I will never take my family to this sad excuse for a town gun. Tough.
The whole time.
Angry guy. And what's up with that? Some guy. Is that Liam?
Oh,
it
it could have
Liam?
been that wrote that comment. Could have been.
It's either Liam or who's the worker?
Anthony?
Let's keep going. So we got angry guy in red. What the hell, Anthony? That was filed on Saturday. Unacceptable behavior. I put up with your eccentricities for a long time, but if you're going to start negatively affecting guest relations, then I'll have no choice but to throw the book, whole entire word this time, at you, so to speak. See me in my office as soon as you get in. So we got angry guest. We got, I'm assuming that's boss.
Sounds like boss.
And then, who's this? Probably Anthony. Rosie, this complaint was filed by a museum guest exactly 1 week before Liam went missing. I don't know who it was those people say they saw that day, but it wasn't me. It couldn't have been. I bet you it's Liam.
Probably
Makes
would.
sense.
I've been closing the museum 2 hours early every Saturday for the past 6 months. I'm a member of this historical reenactment band. It's the only time people are willing to practice. I play the bugle. Plays the bugle for the Union Army. It's a stupid reason to cut work, but nobody ever noticed until now because I'm the only employee on duty on Saturdays and because museum attendance is so low across the board. The entire, next one is blotched out, entire place was locked when they saw this man. Whoever he was, and none of our alarms were tripped on any point in that day. He shouldn't have been able to get inside. He shouldn't have been there. But they saw him clear as day. Up until now, it was just me that was witnessing this kind of presence in the building. But this proves that I'm not seeing things. I didn't tell Joseph or the sheriff about any of this because I was already in enough, last one I got, enough trouble as it was. And I can't afford to lose this job. It was stupid of me to stay quiet. I'm so sorry. Hope you can forgive me.
Hope
How
you
do
can
these
forgive me.
coordinate? We got
Yeah, you
enough
said it sounds
entire
like mad
book.
customer, boss,
Worse.
employee.
Well, I'm talking about the ones that were blotched out.
Oh.
We got enough entire book, L and
L and
acknowledging, and W and worse.
So that's got to be figured out later. That doesn't tell us anything.
Almost looks like the G too, right? But not as much.
Almost. All right, so I'm going to go right into this one. This is the Burkittsville History Museum Incidents Report by Anthony Rapinoe.
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 That's a strong last name.
Yeah. Description of incident. Last night at around 9:15 p.m., I began to hear what sounded like a voice coming from the basement. I was the only staff member on duty. I already made sure that the building was clear of patrons, and I'm always sure to keep the door to the basement firmly locked. As soon as I managed to convince myself that I had imagined the voice the first time, I heard it again. This time I could have swore that it said my name. I called out back to it, saying something along the lines of, "Who's there? The museum is closed. You need to leave." I received no response for a long moment, and then I heard that what was clearly the sound of laughter echoing up from the basement. At that point, because I was feeling more than a little spooked, I grabbed the heaviest object on my desk as a potential weapon. It was a volume of the encyclopedia. Then I followed the ominous noise to the basement door. When I reached the locked door, I could clearly hear someone or something moving around mere inches behind it. Then there was a slow scratching noise like metal on wood, but when I opened the door, all I could see was an empty stairwell leading down into pitch darkness. Then I heard footsteps and shuffling coming from somewhere inside that darkness. I loudly announced that the museum was closed again, and that anyone present would have to leave immediately, and that I was about to call the sheriff. There was no reply, but the sound of footsteps continued and started to head up the stairs towards me. That's when I chucked the encyclopedia down the stairs as hard as I could, slamming the basement door shut and locked it. Then I phoned the sheriff's office. Deputy Weathers was dispatched and arrived less than 5 minutes after. He looked around the basement, declared that there was nothing there, and made a frankly disparaging comment about my masculinity before leaving. It was after Deputy Weathers left when I reluctantly went to retrieve the damaged encyclopedia that I noticed the below symbols carved into the section of the topmost basement stair. I photographed the evidence and promptly left the building. I attached a photograph of the carvings here. And
it's that same writing.
Yeah, it's that same crazy symbol writing. And then there's a second page, which is also another incident report by Anthony Rapinoe, and the description of the individual. I only got a quick glimpse of the individual from behind. It was a male around 6'2" in height, but it was difficult to tell because he was slouching very heavily. He was wearing a long, filthy coat with mud-stained boots. He moved with a lopped gait.
Loping gait.
Loping gait?
Does that mean he's like...
I was gonna say, what does that even?
He's the yash-slinging slasher.
He's the yash-slinging yash. Okay. Description of incident. About 2 hours ago, around 10 p.m., I witnessed an unknown individual trespassing in the museum. I was searching through the attic storage section, looking for anything that we might want to include in the upcoming Civil War in Purkittsville exhibit. When I felt something strange happen, the air in the room seemed to become drastically colder all of a sudden, and I was overcome with a sinking feeling that I was alone. Then I turned around and I saw that, in fact, there was someone crouching down about 5 feet away from me, rifling through a storage cabinet. His back was turned to me, but I gasped loudly when I saw him, and it was clear from his body language that he knew that I was there. When the stranger heard me gasp, he slowly stood up. Then he just walked away, not turning around or acknowledging me at all. He climbed down the attic stairs, and fearing for my safety and frankly unable to move, I made 0 attempts to pursue him. I huddled in a corner of the attic, clutching an antique bayonet. Called the sheriff's office and remained where I sat until Deputy Weathers arrived. Weathers searched the museum up and down 3 times alongside me, but when we didn't find any evidence of the man I had seen, we didn't find any sign of breaking and entering. All possible entrances to the museum were locked when we searched them. Deputy Weathers then had the nerve to threaten to write me up for wasting police resources. After Weathers left, I went to check on the storage cabinet that the intruder had been looking through. It's mostly dedicated to oral transcriptions of 19th and 20th century folktales, but also contains a few samples of jewelry and other apparel from other time periods. Also cross-referencing the cabinet's contents with our inventory, I can confirm that there was nothing stolen from the cabinet. However, it appears that one object has been added to it. It appears to be a talisman made from sticks and twine, shaped roughly like a human figure. Objects like this have occasionally appeared around town close to the time of unexplained death or disappearance. I'm going to go home now and going to go take my personal day tomorrow.
Is that this guy?
Well, that looks like some twigs. That's why maybe why there's lines in it and stuff is because it's supposed to look like twigs and
I
stuff.
could see it being twigs.
I can see that. So that might be this, and then these symbols definitely.
But still, no way of
But
knowing.
still, yeah,
what
no
the
way
symbols are.
to, yeah. We don't know what the hell they mean. So you're gonna have to give us something here, Johnny.
I guess so.
And if you don't want to read all those, let me get one.
I kind of want to double check just to see. Let's see.
Well, you want some
I
light?
got a little pen here. Well, we'll bring out the light, sure.
Or no, what are you double checking in here?
I want to see here.
Oh, if there's a way to descript the new stuff.
Something to tell us something. Hey,
I
you want
wonder.
a tooth?
I wonder. I didn't take a tooth. I wonder if we're supposed to resort back. Did it ever, like it never really told us we would have to, but it
Look.
didn't say we wouldn't have to either. Yeah, the new stuff, right? But those are dots. There's nothing about dots in these new letters.
Yeah, but we
here.
never had to hit these.
No, we never did. You're right.
I guess none of those really fit that.
Hear me out though. What if we don't need to decipher this? What if we just keep reading? What if it tells us?
Go for it.
I don't know though.
I was gonna
I'm just
say.
throwing it out there.
I mean, we can only hope for the best.
Because I feel like the thing about this game is it's a little mind tricker.
it is.
Remember last time it was 2 doors down, but it wasn't actually 2 doors.
Exactly. Right.
who knows?
It was one whole building.
Yeah, who knows? We don't know yet.
Okay,
but we'll
okay,
see.
okay.
Let me rip into this. Alright, so it looks like this is written from like 2 different people, like a conversation.
I'm gonna bet you those are Liam's.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, the handwriting looks very similar. The blue handwriting looks similar to his. So it says, "You know my name?" And the next person says, "Does it frighten you that I do?" And he says, "I mean, yes. But at the same time, you've had about 1,000,000 chances to attack me or murder me or whatever since I've come out here alone pretty much every day for the past few years. You haven't done any of those things, though, which makes me think you might not be out to get me. But what are you doing then? What are you? I'm more of an absence than a presence." And then a bunch of those symbols for a few lines. And then it says, "You're not the Blair Witch." And then more symbols. On the back. "Sometimes I kind of go numb and then just sort of act without thinking. Other times a thought pops into my head that feels like it's not even mine. Is that her? It happens most often when I'm walking out into the forest." And it looks like a reply with the symbols. And then it looks like Liam asked a question in the symbols and got an answer with the symbols.
Ooh.
And it says, "How long have you been out here? As you said, time works differently in the forest." 3 lines of symbols. "How did you get that?" An answer of symbols. "That note was written before I was born. It should be nothing but pulp now." "I know you're out there. I see you in the forest all the time, and I bet you're watching me leave this note for you right now. Who are you? Come on. This note's been on the path for days. There's no way you haven't seen it. Answer me or I'll call the cops and tell them there's a weird man following me. Answer or I'll stop coming out to the woods." And then a line. What does that
They
mean?
answered.
And then they answered with more of the gibberish
And then he
code
put a
and
bunch
then
of
question marks. And said, "Okay, that took me forever to work out, but I think I get it now." A bunch of the symbols with the question.
So he even had to figure it out.
And he says, "I think he was, or at least I hope so. You know, I thought you were him at first."
I thought you were his dad, probably.
Probably. "I see you in the forest out near where it happened, and I think about all the stories there are about this place. There's tons of evidence that time and space don't work out here like they do everywhere else. Even my dad would say so sometimes. Plus, I mean, if people can vanish so easily in the forest without any explanation, why shouldn't they be able to reappear too? They almost never find bodies when people go missing, even when they search for months and months. I figured that might mean that people who die in the forest don't really die. I guess I was wrong, though. That's a very interesting theory, Liam. I wouldn't be so quick to discount it."
Wait.
Ooh.
That was the guy, right?
Yeah, that was his
Saying I
answer.
wouldn't be so quick to just in
So
language, in
So
normal
his dad
language.
could still be alive. We don't know. I think his dad's alive. So yeah, he said, "As you said,
It was-
time works differently in the forest. It really does. Things that should be gone are still out there." And then an answer in the code. "You know, I heard your mother the other night. Your house is close enough to the forest's edge for me to listen in. She sent you to your room like a child, all because you spoke your mind. She doesn't like when I talk about him like he's still alive. She says it's unhealthy. She doesn't get that the real unhealthy behavior would be to give up on him if there's any chance he's still out there. Is he? Is my dad out in the woods? Please just tell me. And then 4 lines of the code. You know, he wasn't able to finish his last words to you before he choked on his own blood. But what he wanted to say was, thank God that you're all right. How do you know that? I've connected to this place and everything in it. 2 lines of code. Okay, fine. Please help me find him. I'll do anything. I require no payment besides the satisfaction of reuniting a family whenever you're ready. And then it looks like Liam responded in code as well. That's pretty wild.
That's crazy.
Okay.
I have more to read. I don't know who this is from, but
There was the notes from the dad.
Whenever you're ready.
Is that-
What was the dad's name? Like Hugh, Huff?
Huff. I think it was Huff. I'm guessing that's what these are.
I'm telling you, Huff. 4 letters. This is the dad.
It could be.
You said you're guessing? Early guess?
3,000
These-
IQ.
These might be Huff's letters. I don't know. I guess let's get into them.
Let's take a fucking peek.
It's strange to think that this may be the last time I come this far out into the forest after spending my entire youth running around this place with an abandon that frankly bordered on stupidity. Guess that's what happens when there's nobody at home who cares enough to keep tabs on you and a tiny part of you wants to trip into the creek and hit your head on a rock just to show them they should have.
Wow.
Alright.
Nevertheless, in a few short weeks, I'm going to be a father. I've got my own family to think about, and being a father means developing a sense of self-preservation for your kid's sake, if not your own. So this is my goodbye to a place that's been very important to me for many years. Hopefully, once I've got what I have to say off my chest and leave this letter behind, I can close out this chapter of my life for good. Ever since I found this place as a teenager, I knew there was something special about it. Special doesn't mean safe, of course, but it does mean fascinating, especially for a precious and impulsive kid. I stumbled on this strange little hollow by total chance after I'd gotten into some knockdown, drag-out fight with my mother and run away from home, with nothing but a few quarters and an empty lighter in my pockets. The first thing that struck me when I walked in was that outside sound didn't seem to penetrate the hollow at all. No crackling twigs or rustling leaves, only the sound of my own breath. The second thing that struck me was the thing at the center of the place. The twisted hollow stump of a tree with bark as white as maggots. I remembered Anthony talking about the Blair Witch being tied to a twisted white tree, and then the rest of it is in code on the bottom. There's 2 lines.
As white as maggots.
Yeah, that's pretty descriptive.
Yeah, I didn't need all that.
Yeah.
I went over to get a closer look, and when I put my hand on the bark, it was colder than I expected it to be. Then I felt a sharp pain in my palm. I managed to get the most wicked splinter imaginable and ended up bleeding all over the tree as well as myself. I started to feel numb and lightheaded and I left. I got home right before sunset. That's one local taboo that I never once broken and that I never will break. Knowing about all the people who had gone missing after staying out too long was enough to make me that concession at least. I used to go out to the hollow a few times a week, always in the daytime. I'd write in my journal and while away the hours, which seemed to pass in a matter of minutes out there. One time in the hollow, I wrote a note that I never intended to send to a girl who I knew was miles out of my league. I couldn't bring myself to throw it out or destroy it, but I was too mortified to keep it anywhere that another living soul might be able to find it. So I shoved it into the very back of the hollow hole of this tree. And then there's like 3.5 lines of code.
But that's Rosemary, dude.
Maybe.
Rosemary rain code, dude?
I know that doesn't necessarily mean anything, but I still couldn't help but feel as though it did. For a short time after that, this is our spot. Her house wasn't the happiest place to be at the time. What with Jess staying over to deal with her whole ex-husband situation. I dare Rosemary, you're right, to go and find the notes that I wrote for her, and she'd find them and leave some of her own for me. I thought if neither of us had a place to be happy on our own, I could make a place for us to be happy together from scratch. Maybe it was naive of me to think that there was any place for joy in the forest after all of the tragedy that's taken place out here. Rosemary certainly started to think so after a while anyways. But even though she hasn't come out here since high school, I've still visited sometimes just to look at the remnants of our old love notes or to occasionally squirrel away something new into the tree's hollow. Actually, I think that's a squivel, but I can't tell with this shitty writing. I always like the image of paper, the pulp of a desiccated tree being buried within a tree that was dead itself. I like the thought of Rosemary's and my love notes returning to the earth while our bodies are still out in the real world alive. And then some more code. But the reoccurring nightmare that I started to have about this place lately has been enough to scare me even away. Almost every night I dream that I'm buried underneath that stump. I try to claw my way up, but I never make it to the surface. Ever since I've started having that dream, I felt a stronger code than ever before. More code. Either way, I have a strange feeling that code. I'm still going to have to go into the forest sometimes for my livelihood. After all, I've got a family now, and they're going to depend on me for a long time. But I can be careful. I'll keep leaving before sunset. I'll never ever bring any of this up to Rosemary. She shouldn't have to worry about it. Not when she's going to have a new child on her hands so soon. And that's it.
Alright. I feel like that, I mean, it gave us some good story, you know, but pointed us nowhere in the right direction for the code.
So is that everything?
Yeah.
That's everything.
Yeah, I don't know what the code means. I just know there's blotches on certain letters.
Alright,
So,
let's
yeah,
start rolling through.
I would assume that this thing, you probably are onto something considering there's information from this first notebook that we haven't used yet. Maybe there's a way to solve it in here, because there's nothing on there at all, is there? No?
I'm gonna say no.
No, they wouldn't make it. Because I think they don't want us to use the tools from last time. I don't think you need, like, last week's tools to get through this week's stuff. Which makes me think...
Yeah, but these blotches
The
probably mean something, but like...
Right. But then some of them aren't
They don't
specifically
indicate
placed.
really
Like, look at
anything.
these. Look at these down here and over here. And some of them are random. And then now I want to think about what you were saying, because, like, look at these. These are a lot of corners and halves. This could be what you were saying.
That actually is probably it. Yes. Look.
That could be it. Because, oh no.
Not again.
I know what you were saying, though. How the, because there was no dots. Here's
Look
dots.
at dots.
Dots.
Yes. This is it, I believe. Look at.
Wow.
So we got dot.
So we have to try
dot,
the
dot.
first one to see if it makes sense.
And these are triangles, and these
So
are
let's try a
triangles.
small word. Let's try this. What is fucking
Whoa.
less than square?
T.
Okay, so it'd be T, and then upside down
H.
square, H, and then full square.
E.
T-H-E.
Dude, that's it. You're a genius.
What the fuck, dude? That was crazy,
There.
bro. So then you have to incorporate all four of those? So
Write it
then,
down.
okay, so where's the piece
There.
of paper? Going right in the back of here?
I got the notebook on
Or,
me.
no, let's write... Oh, let's use the fucking notebook then. Yeah, you're
No, I'm using it here.
So
yeah.
now we just have to decipher this whole thing.
Start at the top.
Oh, yeah. You know we love to decipher the whole thing.
I'm out of here.
I'm out of here. All right.
So we deciphered some of the code, and what's his name? Huff's notes. They were in Liam's notebook from chapter 1.
Yeah.
On this page here, we found it. So we read through, so I'm going to read you what it says.
We were wondering what that did since the first week.
I won't
though,
read
so
the
I'm
full
glad
thing,
it
but just so
came
we
back
can
in.
update, you know?
And thinking about that's kind of like proof that they will want us to reference back. 'Cause
Yeah.
So then that means I'm glad we busted it out because we'd have been confused.
I'm glad, yeah. So we'll start at the top. I remembered Anthony talking about the Blair Witch being tied to a twisted white tree. I felt it in my gut that this was the same one. Flip it over on the back. I couldn't bring myself to throw it out or destroy it, but I was mortified to keep it anywhere near another living soul might be able to find it, so I shoved it in the very back of a hollow hole in this tree. Rosemary asked me to get dinner with her at the Silver Moon the very next day. Weird coincidence, huh?
Huh.
A little bit.
Then we're moving on to page 3. I like the thought of Rosemary's and my love notes returning to the earth while our bodies are still out in the real world alive. Death doesn't always mean finality, not when love remains. Ever since I started having that dream, I felt a stronger pull to the forest than ever before. Was I ever going out there of my own free will at all? And the last one. Either way, I have a strange feeling that... What's that?
Oh, that's the P4 thing from here.
Oh.
You start off with in.
If I ever visit the Hollow again, I'm not going to be able to come back. Okay. A little weird, a little weird.
I was going to say, so we got a whole shit
He
ton
wasn't
of
this big,
background
nice
story
guy,
from
huh?
that, and that is a lot of sketchiness, but that really doesn't... There's a whole other 3 pages with different symbols.
And those are the same symbols that are on this
And these are the
too.
ones that have the good questions. You know my name. Who are you? You're not the Blair Witch? So this is what we need. So I almost think we might have to reference back into that book even harder, or maybe we look at the other things in the box 1 as well, because I don't have the lead on this.
It's got to be something with these blotches, dude. Like, look at this V and the period is
But
blotched.
like, okay, so let's even find that. Let's find that. The V with the
Okay,
blotch on
what
the
is
side.
that?
Now
What is
where
that?
is that? Where is the
Bodies are
V
still
with the
out in
blotch
real
on the side?
world. That
Let's
was
see if
that was an
makes
S.
sense. What was?
This is an S.
So is some of the code the same?
So some of the code works, but some of it
Is it?
doesn't?
Let's see.
Well, because
if
like I'm not seeing any 90-degree angles. So the only thing I'm seeing is like that, but that's got a line above it. That one's the same thing.
There's
no
no V?
actual V's or squares. They made an entire. Or this. What about this?
Yeah, but it has a blotch. That's
Yeah,
what I
it
was
does.
thinking. It's a blotch on the period too.
Move on.
So is there a blotch on the period? Right there.
There's a blotch on that period. I guess a tiny one. But where does it show that? Where's that correlating to?
That is correlating to. Just guessing here.
V. Oh, well, it's got to be V period, right? Because V period.
Well, I'm just looking for anything that had a period on a blotch of it too, and that's the only thing I've seen.
And do they have the same amount of letters? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Where'd you just point? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Wait,
Dude.
1, 2, 3.
4.
Is that a 2 thing or is it a
1,
1
2,
thing?
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Cool. Maybe this just
See if
got
that-
a lot easier.
Yeah, see if
So
that
then,
works
so
out.
then, so what was this word for us? Where? Look at right here. Look right here.
That was Rosemary.
Okay, so that's rosemary.
Well,
What was
Rosemary's 8.
No, that was remains.
It was remains. Okay. Okay, so let's find another one.
No, because look, these two are the same. I and N.
Yeah, could be it.
Well, then if that correlation doesn't work, I don't think we should keep looking deeper into it then.
Alright, so our camera battery died. But while that happened, Brandon over here was taking a look at this figure and noticed that it was only 4 symbols on it. And then he was looking closer, and the wrist has a little thing on
Like
it.
a
too.
little, yeah.
So we think, and by we I think we mean Brandon thinks, that the doll says Liam, and that the doll is Liam.
Just guessing.
And another other way that we got that is because we tried Bell, we tried Rose,
There's no
we
repeating
tried,
letters.
Yeah, we tried.
It couldn't be Huff. It couldn't be Bell.
We tried everything and nothing seems to be working.
But
out. It's gotta
Liam.
be.
L-I-A-M.
And plus the bracelet thing is what's got me because the tooth
A
bracelet.
bunch of etched out markers, but there's one exactly like this on his wrist right here.
And it's
See that?
perfect. That's it literally. And then there's evidence with those letters, and we're trying to use
This
the Liam
this
letters.
first word's I'm.
I'm.
Okay.
Yeah, this, okay, so this might help.
Because now we have to use those 4 to get different letters. See, because
I'm, and then it's another word. I don't know what that is.
you don't have any clues.
So that's another I. So the second word has an I.
How many letters?
I. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's blank I, blank I.
Blank
Blank
I,
I.
blank I.
Blank. I.
Yup, and then,
And then 4 more letters.
Yep.
yeah, that we don't know.
Okay. Then
And
we got
then
anything in that
the
last
line is just 3 letters that we don't know. So literally all we have is
Can we see that real
I'm.
quick?
The blank after I'm is also 4. I don't know if that helps.
So
I'll throw it over to
there's
you.
how many words? So there's I'm, 1, 2,
I really hope
3,
this is Liam.
4, bunch of letters, 3 letters.
Because we've tried every other name. I'm really looking at.
Okay,
any
wait.
small-
Oh, you said that already.
Yes.
I'm looking for any.
Okay, well hashtag.
reading.
If hashtag is M, check.
Yeah.
No.
What about this? No. Man, if we just knew what this little square with the line above it was, it would help me so much.
I'm the hash slinging slasher.
That's it.
Spatula dude in the background.
The one word I noticed a lot on some of the letters, this one, I noticed that on one of them like 3 times in a row. On
Which
of-
one?
This word.
The middle symbol?
No, like the whole last word, like the 3.
See, like,
Maybe
what
that
is
is,
this?
though.
See, like, this is a random one we can figure out. See, this is LL.
LL.
Is that could be like Will, and that could give us WI. That could give us
no,
the
that's
WI.
an A.
So ALL. So
ALL.
what's blank LL? A blank all. Ball. Call. That could be. That could be a
literally be anything.
You can
But
put
then-
any
but-
letter there, dude.
Son of a. All right. Damn, guys, I thought I was on something. What about this? Here's some more LIA. No, it's double A's.
LL.
Or is that?
It's double L.
No, it's double L's, not double A's. Duh.
Hollow. HOLLOW.
That kind of looks like a W too. Write that down. Now let's see if we can use those letters that we just figured
Okay,
out to
H
use other ones.
equals that thing. O equals
4.
a Q, 4.
Yeah, it looks like a 4. And then
LL,
we got LL.
and W
And then 4 again, and then W.
equals dot slash dot.
So now look at this. Now this is W. Then we have LIA WA. It's not
Lost
wall.
me there.
I'm saying I'm using those new letters we got to try to discover
None of
even
them
more
work
letters.
there.
There's the W, and then there's LIA. So it's WA. That's it. That's all we got.
So we really got to go through and just decipher like
Word for
different
word until we
words.
get the entire alphabet.
Who made this game?
I mean, it's been cool so far.
I mean, I
but
want to assume that's what we have to do, but I'm not.
Look at W A
W A.
W-A, what
Wet.
else? Oh, it was. That's the
Wet
only
net
W,
tat?
right?
Oh.
W-A what? It has to be an S,
Way,
right?
way, was, way or was.
No.
Damn it!
No,
Is it way or
dude, why?
was, dude?
Disagree, dude.
He said disagree. It was. Alright. Fuck. What about that?
Okay,
It's like,
well, this is not an I'm.
Did we say this is wall or something? ALL?
We found
like
all,
wall.
but we don't know what that first letter is. That's another word it could be. It could be wall. It could be tall. It could be call.
That looks like tall. That looks like a T. Remember the W looks like a W? That looks like a T.
There's a lot of things that look like a T in here, dude.
I
Son of a... And this is one of the ones that I want to figure out because this is on the gravestone. This one and the square and the half square with the line above it. I want to know those ones.
O, something, something, A, something, I, O,
Something ALL.
something.
Wait, so what did you just say anything that made sense?
This is an O.
Okay.
Don't know, don't know.
So it
A,
starts with an O?
don't know. I, O, don't know. A, L, L,
You're
don't
telling
know.
me this word starts with an O.
If that word is hollow,
If this word is hollow. But then, what the fuck could that be if it started with O? O blank A blank I blank
dude,
O?
I got a weird thought here. Weird thought here. Where didn't we say something about the hollow?
Yeah, no, it said I won't be able to visit the hollow again. I won't be able to come back. Is what he said.
I. This was written before I was born. It should be nothing but pulp by now. I
No, it was
read.
So
I read.
No, that's not.
M.
Oh, that is the M.
My W. A. I read my. This is hard.
This is hard as fuck. Cause I'm narrowing it down to 3 and 4 letter words, and it's still even hard to actually say exactly what they are because there's tall and small and call and shawl.
I bet you we start here.
It must be, but we only have. Can we even do anything with that HOW? I don't think so. Not on here.
One eternity later.
They expect you not to lose the pen.
Yeah, what if you
They
lose
expect
it?
you to not break the
Game
pen. Our
over?
pen barely screws back together. It may have been because we were rough with it.
I'll see you soon, Dad, like you said.
Wait, what? Like you? Oh, and then it's all symbols. Son of a bitch. But are any of those symbols ones we know? A few of them.
I'll see you soon, Dad, like you said.
A few of those symbols are recognizable.
A. Where's Liam? A. L. W. Because we figured that one was a W. A.
Always.
I will always love you. No, I don't know. I don't know.
I was gonna say that's scary.
M. A. This doesn't help at all, dude.
Wait, but that always sounded right?
No. The letters don't match up. It just sounded good. It just sounded
You made
good.
it sound good. Fuck.
I'm gonna sold it.
Yeah, so you made me bite too, so.
Alright, so there's some secret lettering right here. We gotta go back to that.
Dude, that's so fucking scary.
Have you scanned over everything?
Yeah, I thought so. Okay.
I've scanned over these, right? Scanned over them.
Yeah, just say now we can't fucking skip anything.
What about any of that stuff?
Well, I mean, the notebook we already went back to and we checked out. This, I don't think so. And that looks like
Newly renovated. Want a hint?
I want hint.
You want a hint? I mean, I want a hint too, but I want to fuck.
Blame it on me. I said it. Blame it on me. I'm the weak one.
Want a
Because
hint?
the thing is, if we could sit here for a full 24 hours trying to figure out the next 5 letters, but would that do us any good?
No, and my kids miss me.
They're
right.
wondering where Daddy's at.
I already had it pulled up just in case, because, you know, time of the video. Do we want to take mysterious symbols reveal number 1 and blame it on John?
I mean,
Yeah,
as long as we
fuck
blame it
yeah.
on fucking John, dude.
Hell
alright.
yeah. It's
Because
not
like
me.
really, I'm positive that we could figure it out. But if we sit here for a whole nother day and Brandon misses work tomorrow over this,
Or do we want a lucky guess this is Liam and take mysterious symbols reveal number 2?
well, you would have to guess one and see if we're right. Because what if we're wrong?
All right. Doing
Because
it.
if we're wrong,
Ready?
we're getting a way
Ready?
wrong channel. All right, do one.
Mysterious symbols reveal 1. The figure is a carving of Liam.
There you go, dude. So we were definitely right about the fucking Liam. No fucking bell, no rose, no none of that shit. he's up out of here. He's like, that's all, folks.
I think that is another hint.
Well,
hang on.
the thing is, 'cause we are
There's more for me to
Liam.
read. There's more for me to read.
Alright.
Who, as Rosemary mentioned in episode 1, was known to wear a bracelet that his father gave him?
Which we fucking pointed out. We noticed. We're
The
cold.
4 symbols on the figure's chest spell out the name Liam. You may now know 4 of the symbols of the mysterious alphabet that Liam was plugging. That's not going to help us.
You gave
Doesn't
us
say we
4 of the
do
symbols that we've been trying.
Plugging these
That's the
4
wrong hint
symbols
we
into the
needed.
rest
We
of the
didn't do that.
instances of the mysterious symbols will allow you to decipher all the letters in the coded alphabet.
Yeah, so
No.
those 4.
Reveal number 2, blaming Alec.
Wait.
Doing it.
Wait.
Nah.
Alright.
Wait. All right, go ahead.
The symbols on the History Museum security reports translates to I'm not finished yet.
Wait, that's this?
Yes.
I'm not finished yet.
Thank God.
Wait, so see, this looks like 2 letters, and that's just the T.
IMNOTFINISHEDYET.
Okay, so we have to.
All right, let's take it from here.
So now we're on to the new stuff. Wait, it said what exactly?
I'm not finished yet.
I'm not finished yet.
And this word, like I said, on one of these popped
N
up a ton.
Equals this thing. N equals T.
Right there. Look at
O does not equal this.
that. Right there, right there, right there. Is that
You're
not
right,
the
3
same word?
times in
Yep.
a row.
O equals that. Yeah, O equals that.
The 4 and the T, right? The 4 and the line or whatever. The 9 and
No,
the
I
9.
think this is the T. The TK.
Just the K?
So now,
Oh, the TK is the T?
So wait, now we have to decipher more code?
I think the IK.
Yeah.
You know what time it is, right?
Time lapse time?
Time lapse.
Alright.
Okay. So during the deciphering period, a lot was found out. So we pretty much got all the code, and then we started
Not
kind of,
all, but
Not all,
so
but
a big majority
hint
from
gave
that
us like
hit.
20 letters out of 26
And
letters.
from that, we were able to decipher a bunch of other words, giving us extra
So
letters. We probably got
many of
half the alphabet. We deciphered about 4 lines, and we found a name for them.
So the goal of this was to find the name of the person Liam's been talking to. So
In the
now
basement.
we believe we have the name. If you wanna, what was it again?
Carvel.
Carvel.
And then how exactly, what was the line we
Yeah,
found that
how
they
did you-
said,
What's your name anyways? Liam said to him, and he says, you can call me Carvel.
yeah, you can call me Carvel.
We also found out that he's
C-A-R-V-O.
not, or they're not, the Blair Witch,
Mhm.
and they're not alive or dead.
Not
Yeah.
alive,
Not
a
witch,
witch, not human, not a friend, not a foe, not alive, not dead.
So, and I go to kintcase.com.
And
right?
he also hears compulsions to the forest. And he says, can't you?
So,
She seeds into my heart.
kintcase.com, right?
Kentcase.com.
Wait, oh yeah, it was in the file. It was in the file I read.
Fumble.
It was in the file I read.
Quietly 5.
Quietly 5. Dude, is Carvel his name? Because that is a random thing that you would never type in on accident. Carvel. You know, so that makes sense that
That
that's an
is
answer.
very specific.
Very specific.
Is she real? Carvel's real.
Quietly.
Is she real? It says.
My
Wait,
name
is-
is Carvel.
Hi.
Hi.
There's not enough letters for it to say Carvel anymore.
S-H-E.
Oh, are you deciphering it on spot?
M-S. I. Yes, she
Okay.
is.
Yes, she is.
That is. She
Yes, she
is.
is.
I don't know.
Ooh, so either way, she wrote "fuck yeah" in there.
She's like, hell yeah.
She said, "I'm
Hell
the
yeah.
realest
Hell
motherfucker.
yeah.
I'm the real, her street
When you
cred."
put the password in, it updates the page, and
Does it? Let me see.
Rosemary's, she's put in some more journal
Ooh, more
posts.
add-ins and
But
shit.
there, out of this good fences thing, there's more screenshots. Can't family curse.
Oh, they have a family curse.
Have you heard about what happened to the kid boy? Poor Rosemary, it's a damn shame. First she loses her husband in that terrible accident, and now her son too. And didn't something like that just happen to her sister Jess right before she moved out west? Makes me wonder what will happen next. Wasn't there something about family wasn't that good for
I don't
Rosemary?
remember that.
You notice how it's been awfully foggy lately? You notice how it gets darker? You notice those symbols around town? If you ask me, it's a witch. So this is just screenshots of people.
You know she is.
That's what it says.
You know she is.
Is she real? You know she is.
Okay, keep
Oh,
going.
did that give you a few more
She's just
letters?
playing. These are just like social media posts.
Oh, it's
I-
literally like Facebook.
Yeah,
it looks like she posted
yeah.
a status and there's comments underneath her
So we go
status.
to the tip line, right?
We go to the tip line. It said we need to.
And then new
Yeah, right.
message.
It said tip line.
Carvel. C-A-R-V-E-L. Is that?
That's how you spell that.
That's
Carvel.
C-A-R-V-E-L.
R-V-E-L.
We're sending it.
Dude, if we're wrong, I'm gonna
It's
be...
been sent.
All right, we sent it. We sent it.
Carvel, and the answer is we've got audio. Hours and hours of work.
Dude,
Jesus,
oh
thank the
my
Lord.
God, my back hurts after deciphering.
And my back hurts,
I know,
dude.
You've been carrying us. Your back does hurt.
All right, where we at?
Dude, fucking Carvel. All right.
Play it out loud.
Carver?
Carver.
Liam was talking with someone who called themselves Carver.
Carvel
No.
was what we typed in.
We
I
literally
recognize the
typed in
name.
Carvel.
Let's just assume that it is Carvel because that's what worked, and I feel like Carver would have been wrong.
No, because if you typed in the wrong thing on their website, they would revert you with a wrong answer. We got the right answer. She's saying Carver, and we said Carvel.
Hang on here. Where do we
'Cause
find that?
if
Hang
our
on.
No, we
code-
know it's L.
If our
We
code
know
was
it's L,
wrong,
'cause
but
Liam.
the answer would have been different.
It's-
Because if we would have said Carver, the answer would have been wrong. We said Carvel, and it was right. Which means our code has to be right. Because if our code is wrong and it's Carver,
It's
then
Carver.
It is
Carver?
Carver? Then how did Carvel work on the answer?
You can call me Carver.
How did Carvel work in the answers?
I don't know.
How
but it
did Carvel work in the answers?
We found a
Well, no, let's.
flaw.
Yeah, dude. Well, we're not gonna tell him we found Carver because we typed in Carvel, and that's what's gonna be on the damn recording when John shows him the screen. That's Carvel.
Hey, it's all
Carvel
good.
was the answer.
No, it's Carver.
No. Our bad guy in our
Carver.
story, his name is Carvel, and he's a bad boy.
It's the dad. He's the carver. He carved this.
The dad and the carving.
And by Carver, he means Carvel.
All right. It even says Carvel on this. We're going into it. It's Carver, but it's Carvel.
Does it actually say Carvel?
It says Carvel.
Something like 20 years ago, a boy was taken into the forest. Or maybe he wandered in. I don't know. When they sent people out to look for him, they found all kinds of strange carvings on the trunks of trees. People in town started to call whoever left those markings the Carver, and the name stuck. God, I wish Jess were here. Or that I could get her on the phone for more than 5 minutes. She never understood why I stayed in this town. I guess I understand where she was coming from.
Lighting a cigarette.
Stressed.
Whoever this complete and utter son of a bitch may be, we're clearly dealing with someone twisted. I mean, who knows what he's done to Liam, or what he could still be doing. No. If I think about that, I'm gonna lose it.
That was real.
Swear.
You know what? This will help us get the search parties going again. Sheriff Lanning has a personal stake in this now. When his uncle was sheriff in the 90s, he oversaw the Carver case. I'm going to call Lanning's office right now, and then we're going to round up anyone who will follow me into the forest. I'm going to go back in there, and I'm going to find Carver. And when I do, I'm going to make him feel the same misery and pain that he's put my family through.
Holy shit, it ends on that? We just want to put him in jail. She wants to cold kill him and do the law herself and take my man's out the game.
Carvel.
Carvel. And we said Carvel out loud. We thought, hey, isn't that weird? No, it worked, so it wasn't weird. And then here she says Carver to make us look like jackasses.
Jackass is
wasn't-
on video.
It wasn't weird to
We
me.
can't even
'cause
backtrack the video after that. We're just Carvel.
He's gotta put it
It's
in.
fucking Carvel. Now our bad guy's name is Carvel.
To be fair, old boy's name in the last chapter was Rickard.
Yeah.
So
Rickard and Carvel.
And we last time we tried to put the wrong answer in once, and she had no problem telling us, hey, that's the
not
wrong
right.
answer.
Yeah, even when I spelt it wrong.
Yeah. So then when we were, I'm blown away.
Flaw in your system.
Carvel.
So is that that's
So that is the end
to this
of
one?
our second month, right?
I think this is the end of month 2.
This is the end of month 2. And then I'm sure that was our outro, and we will have another intro for our month 3, right?
All I'm saying is this. Part 3 better not be that damn hard.
We're coming for you, Carvel.
That was
you better watch out. You better watch out,
Yeah,
bud.
we're on your trail, Carvel, with an L.
But I hope you guys like this run. I hope you guys like our second episode, and I hope that you guys enjoy it, and you guys tune in, you guys come back to the channel for episode 3, which will be coming out soon. And I hope you guys enjoy it, and you guys have a good day.
Catch you in the next video.
Like and subscribe for more.
Bow!